attracted you to this project?
Honestly, the pilot. I came on after the pilot was shot, and I watched it, and it's very rare that you see a pilot that has a fully formed identity. It had a voice, it had a personality, it had humor, it had darkness. I'm a huge comic book nerd. I read Sandman growing up. I read Lucifer before. I read it again in preparation for this. Like, it to be able to go onto a show that already knew what it was, but also came from the roots that I come from, of the playing with those elements of the fantastical that I love and having to whittle them down into a very grounded show, is sort of every wheelhouse of mine combined Voltron style into one. So.
And how much of the comic book and the TV show, how much do they intersect?
So I don't know if you guys have read the comic. It's a tough translation to do. The comic is absolutely amazing because it's grand worlds, huge ideas. What we're trying to do is take the idea behind the idea, the soul of the idea, and ground it in our world. So the weird answer is a lot of it and very little of it, because we're not going to have a lot of hugely supernatural elements in it. What we will have is grounded aspects of them. We'll have the spirit of them. Like there's this whole wonderful idea in the first book of Lucifer wanting to get freedom from his father. Now in the comics it becomes this huge thing where he opens a portal to a whole other dimension and becomes God. We're not going to be able to do that because our show is about a person learning about humanity on Earth. But what we get to do is play with a guy trying to explore that idea. Freedom. Freedom from your father, the freedom to screw up, the freedom to hook up with anyone you want, the freedom to live. So that great idea, which works so well in the books, we love that idea, and we're going to do it, we're just going to do it our way.
Is Neil Gaiman at all involved in that?
He is not, beyond the fact that he has voiced his support and has been nothing but wonderful. The fact that I got to email Neil Gaiman was just a highlight of my life. So, I'm a big fan, but he's busy.
Are you guys able to add any characters from Sandman in this, or is it pure characters from Lucifer?
Right now, we're just doing Lucifer. We haven't really explored it much. I'm guessing there would be a defining line, but so far we've just consciously decided to play with the characters in the sandbox. Good question. We should probably ask that.
If you were to describe the show, would you call it more of a procedural with a twist? Or would it be more of an arc with a procedural twist?
I'd say an arc with a procedural twist. I'd say a character-driven show with a procedural backbone.
Yeah.
It's weird because we're almost trying to avoid procedural and call it more a mystery of the week instead of a case of the week. Because it won't always necessarily be a case. Some situations will come from Lucifer's end, some from Chloe's. I think the fun of it is what all we work backwards from is what is a situation that will illustrate the differences between these two characters in interesting ways. And the fact that Lucifer has this world that he exists in of favors and power and the time he spent in LA is something we really want to mine.
So, I think for people who aren't familiar with the comic, the problem is, how do you make a show starring Lucifer? Who would be the bad guy? Who's more evil than Lucifer?
Good question. So what we've been finding, which I think is so exciting about the show, is Lucifer is, as I said at the panel, Lucifer is a redemption story. And what we're sort of finding is Lucifer exploring other kinds of redemption and other people who on their surface might look evil but might have surprising goodness to them. Or some people who on the surface aren't who they are. One of the things I think is so fascinating about Lucifer is he's always called the king of lies. But actually in our version and in the comic version, he doesn't lie. He's a guy who tells the truth. Lies diminish us, and Lucifer would never, ever diminish himself. So he tells the truth. He's the ultimate truth teller, and he attacks hypocrisy. That's the evil that he especially goes after, and that's the fun of it, because that's the one thing I think we all absolutely can agree is something we all hate.
Okay, I'll go. So do you have a message for viewers as they get ready to watch Lucifer when it premieres?
Yes. Lucifer is a weird, fantastically strange mix of humor, darkness, character, and action. It's everything I like in a TV show. If someone just put you, they literally put everything I love in a blender and just shook it all up to hell. And what we got is a show that just scratches every itch that I have, and I love it. I hope everyone else does too.